we need to talk about a creature that's already become a arch nemesis of mine, Fungus Gnat. These tiny flying menaces have already declared war on my enclosures, and they've only been up for a little bit, and honestly, it's personal now. But today, instead of just venting, we're going to look at why they show up, how they work, and most importantly, how to finally beat them. Fungus gnats look like fruit flies' annoying cousins, but they're actually in a completely different family. Best described as the superfamily Steroidea, fungus gnats thrive in moist soils and damp organic material, which means terrariums, potted plants, and bioactive setups are basically luxury apartments for them. The adults don't bite or do anything that annoying except for buzz by you, but they also do lay hundreds of eggs inside of the substrate. Within just a few days, those eggs will hatch into clear little larvae that will feed upon decaying plant matter, fungi, and sometimes little root tips. Their life cycle is fast, painfully fast if you're fighting them. At warm, humid room temperatures, they can go from an egg to an adult in less than 3 weeks. That means if you don't break their life cycle, they just keep coming back. Larvae do most of the damage underground. Adults don't live that long, only about a week, but every single female can lay over 100 eggs before dying. Bioactive setups are incredible. However, they do of course require their cleanup crew. Part of the problem with fungus gnats is that they compete with our cleanup crew, meaning not only do they take resources from them, but the very habitats that we are keeping end up being perfect for them. The moist substrate, the leaf litter, fungal growth that our springtails will also eat, as well as the decomposing organics. All of this that is usually present in a good terrarium is also basically making a 5-star gnat resort. So, how do they get in? Well, there's a few avenues. First, I suspect for my own problems is using large bags of soil with perforations in them. After doing some research, these often get left out where fungus gnats out in the wild could encounter them, and those fungus gnats will lay their eggs in those perforations. Normally, the soil is going to be used outside, so that's not an issue, but since we're using it inside, it becomes a pretty big issue. To solve this, you can bake the soil. Fungus gnat eggs don't survive baking very well, and that works great, but the problem is, I've already got them. So, the first thing I tried really was neem oil. Neem oil is effective against fungus gnats, however, it is also a broad spectrum insecticide, fungicide, miticide, and nematicide. Knowing what I know now, I do not recommend it in terrariums at all. I used it for my Book Nook waterfall, but it doesn't have any living organisms other than plants inside of it. Next, I tried a dual method approach where I dried the top layer of substrate as well as added airflow. I did this by adding a massive box fan above the terrarium. It succeeded at drying out the terrarium quite a bit, and it also did succeed at interrupting the adult fungus gnat flight. However, that's all it really did. They still lived, they still thrived. After this, I tried hydrogen peroxide. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of it. Ultimately, I can say that it was dramatic, but not as effective as it seemed. I tried a natural bacteria known as BTI, or Bacillus thuringiensis, subspecies israeliensis, which is known to be toxic both to mosquito larvae as well as the larvae of fungus gnats, but not to springtails and isopods. I used 1 dunk, which is one of the round pucks per jar like this, and added it into the enclosures. You can see that the video goes for a little bit longer, so none of this ended up working.
At this point, I'm tired, and I just need a solution that's gonna work. Okay, that is a little perfect. Nematodes.
Oh, dang nematodes!
Let's go ahead and get these nematodes in our enclosure. Oh, interesting there. Little balls. Didn't really expect that. Not sure what I expected. Put some to make sure it's in the water stream.
Now, the advantage nematodes have over other methods is intentionality and staying power. The little nematodes need to infect other fungus gnat larvae to reproduce and eat, and they specifically evolved to do so. It's their life purposes. Hydrogen peroxide doesn't have a life purpose. A fan doesn't have a life purpose. The problem with nematodes is you have to just not think about the parasitism that's going on nearby. From here, all I can really do is wait for the nematodes to do their work. So until next time, hope you guys have an excellent day, and peace out and take care.